Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
It is 2016 now. Some really sad stuff has happened. My heart, all of my love goes out to the families of Alan Rickman and David Bowie. Man, those two, just such incredible, unique artists that absolutely inspired me for so much of my life. Both of them passed away from cancer, so our first topic is going to be that Awesome Games Done Quick actually raised $1.2 million for cancer research, which is incredible. If you've never watched Awesome Games Done Quick, you should, because it's a lot of fun. They always raise so much money. They get so many people in the community involved. It's just it's one of my favorite events, and I love that it happens more than once a year. If you missed out on this one, that is totally fine, because they keep all of the VODs. They have it all just put in a little stockpile, so you can go through all of it if you want. Yeah, $1,216,019. That is so much money! If you would like to watch their next one, it is going to be Summer Games Done Quick. It happens in July 3rd through the 9th this year, and it's going to be in Minneapolis. So if you're able to go and actually be in the audience, I've never been able to do that, but I would love to someday. And if you can just chill at home and watch and maybe donate, they have lots of different sweepstakes and things that happen during the show, and again, it's 6 days long, so it's just quality entertainment for just hours. Following that up with something super stupid, a guy in Pennsylvania walked into a Target and decided to just pee on all the video games. Now, some people are looking at this and saying, was it all a metaphor? Was he trying to get into the minds of some of the companies who have been essentially peeing all over the industry for years? Or was he in fact just a very drunk man? Turns out he was just super drunk. But the weird thing is, you would think if you went into a store and you peed on a bunch of stuff, that you would get charged for destruction of property. That did not happen. He got charged for public lewdness, because his dingle dangle was hanging out, right? For drunken, disorderly conduct, and for something else. But none of it had to do with the fact that he peed on games. So I guess, shrink wrap is more powerful than we expected. Are they still gonna sell those games? Or are they just wipe them off, it'll be fine? If you're in Pennsylvania and you go to Target sometimes to buy your games, maybe don't go to Target. I don't know, maybe just don't go to a Target, because you don't know. Dude might have gone in there and peed on all the games, and they were like, we'll make it work. So although you might be among the masses who really just want this guy to be an artiste of some sort who was trying to, get a message across to everyone, I think he was just drunk. I think he was just a drunk guy. Oh, I mixed two together. It was open lewdness, public drunkenness, and disorderly conduct. Wait, can you not be drunk in public in Pennsylvania? Some of you might have heard that Lightning from Final Fantasy is Louis Vuitton's most recent model. And for those of you who haven't heard that, you're staring at the screen right now going, is this the setup to a goof? It's not, it's real. Now, I was totally willing to have them be like, all right, we're gonna take a digital character and just put her in clothes that we've designed and use her like a weird fake model. Sure, go for it. Everybody thinks Lightning looks cool even if they hate the Final Fantasy 13 games. So whatever, do what you want, you're experimenting. But then they had to take it a step further and make it super ridiculous. So there's an interview out there, an interview with Lightning, about how she feels being a model for Louis Vuitton. And apparently, it has changed her digital life. All this time, I thought the only style that suited me was one that mirrored who I was, strong and tough. But I was wrong. They changed the way I see myself. Perhaps I'm finally learning who I truly am. Though his style was new to me, the moment I laid eyes on his collection, it was as if I was hit by a bolt of lightning. I just can't. It's so dumb. I just don't know why we needed to take it there. Right? Sure, I don't care. Have digital songstresses who are holograms on the stage. Go for it. have a video game character dress in, Louis Vuitton clothes and put her in magazines. Go for it. Great. But why? Why do we have to have an interview with a character who it doesn't make sense. I can't. But hey, maybe this means that the business world of modeling isn't going to take itself as seriously anymore. And then maybe people who are models can be happier in their lives. That would be cool. They'll also be out of a job because suddenly video game characters are the only models. What a world. Speaking of a world I don't want to live in, did you guys hear that Hitman is going to be episodic now? Okay, look. They've adjusted how they've discussed this game quite a few times. So the last that we heard was, well, we're going to put Hitman out with a certain amount of content, but then throughout the year we're going to add in more content. And now they're saying, well, yeah, that, but consider it to be episodic. So when the game actually launches, it's only going to have 2 things in it, 2 situations to play through, and then you'll have to wait. And then they'll put out a little more. You can play through maybe a couple more scenarios, and then you have to wait. And they want it to be very episodic, which I'm feeling more and more, I'm starting to feel like that's the biggest cop-out in the world. Hitman is not a point-and-click story game. And I feel like that's the only way that I'm willing to accept episodic gameplay. To take a game like Hitman and really give off the vibe that it's going to be a reboot of sorts, and then to say, well, it's also going to be episodic, I think immediately conjures in the minds of many people, oh, this isn't going to be Hitman anymore. They don't intend on making a Hitman game. Which probably is not the feel that they wanted to give off. I'm gonna assume that that's not what their intention was, but I'll tell you what, it's not just me. It's other people in the world who read that and went, I don't have a lot of faith in this anymore, I really don't. Hitman will launch on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on March 11th, and it will contain 2 missions, Prologue and Paris. Oh my god, so not only are we only getting 2 missions when the game first drops, the first mission is just the prologue to the actual game, so Paris is going to be the first, real mission of the game. Right? And then throughout 2016, we can await with bated breath for more Hitman missions. I don't understand. It's getting to the point now where I'm wondering if there are a few kind of misguided individuals who are in places of power and looking at games that are episodic and saying this works. Look, people will continue to play it. It works. But the reason why it works is because it's a story, right? The games where it works really well are very well-written, interesting, story-based games with QTE or point-and-click elements. The majority of what you play that game for is the story. You're not playing it because the mechanics are super interesting or it's super involved that way. You're playing it because there's a cool story with great writing that gives you choices, hopefully, in how the story progresses. And that's how you play the game. Right? Those are the episodic games that are doing well and are engaging for people. And the reason that you need that next part is because you're I gotta know what happens next in the story. So are you gonna give us that with Hitman? Because if you don't, I don't think that people are gonna be chomping at the bit for the next mission in this new Hitman game. I don't know, maybe they will betray my expectations, but the more that we're seeing game after game after game after game after game say, it's not that the game's not finished, it's that it's episodic, I'm getting pretty sick of it. The Steam Winter Sale has a very weird ARG game that was included in it. People have been spending a lot of time looking into all of these clues that they've found in the comic, and they also found a secret search engine and all this stuff, and there was this whole community that came together to try and figure out where the end of this ARG game was. And Steam has done ARG stuff before, so it didn't seem it seemed sort of out of the blue, but at the same time they were oh, cool, another ARG game from Steam, from Valve. Now, after getting real deep into it, a bunch of people wound up with an achievement called Red Herring. And for those of you who don't know what a red herring is in terms of mystery solving, a red herring is something that has distracted you from the true meaning. It's something that you shouldn't have paid attention to, but you did, and now you've missed out on the real answer to the clues and the real answer to the mystery. So a bunch of people got this red herring, and they were like, wait, is there an actual end to this game? Is the red herring the end of it? Or did we get distracted down a certain road rather than, like, did we miss something somewhere in there that should have taken us to the real end of this? Or, like, what does this mean? So a decent number of people who were involved in it continued to look more and more and more and more, but, like, the search engine is gone and stuff is shutting down, and there's nothing else to find, really, it seems. So, some people who were on the subreddit, they got real just, like, frustrated and felt really dissatisfied with getting this red herring, sent Valve employees actual red herrings in the mail. Don't worry, they were shrink wrapped. It wasn't just like a straight up, there's fish that was like wrapped in paper and then sent. It was like sealed in plastic and then wrapped in paper and then sent over there. There's even a video on Vimeo that you can watch of them opening up the packages of red herring, but it's very silly. So whether or not people missed out on the actual end of the ARG game or not, it's interesting because it feels, even to me as a person who wasn't involved, wasn't looking into it at all, just reading articles about it and looking at the subreddit, it feels like everybody missed something, right? Like no one's satisfied. It feels like everyone missed what was actually supposed to happen, and now it's just gone, and no one actually solved the clues or solved the mystery, and that must be eating people up inside. So I would just love to talk to somebody at Valve and be like, yo, is that a thing? Was that like an actual thing, or? And as our final bit of news, very quickly, the Diablo 3 patch has just dropped, patch 2.4. Any of you who haven't really played Diablo 3 in a while, it's just gotten better and better and better. People are enjoying it more and more and more. They're adding in lots of new stuff. Cosmetic pets are no longer cosmetic, which is pretty nice. They're making it a lot easier to manage your characters. There's lots of cool hidden items. So, you know, if you've been interested in this patch, it looks like it's going to be super cool. I think that I might actually be playing it with, on like the super duper hard mode with Sam and Sips. Fingers crossed I don't let the entire team down, but who knows. So that should be pretty cool. If you'd like to read all of the patch notes, I will link them in the description, as well as the little like trailer for it. So definitely check that out if you're a Diablo 3 fan. But that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you'd like to have coffee with me, I haven't made one in a really long time again. I know, I'm so sorry. But if you'd like to look at my other channel, I'll put an annotation and you can click on it. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. I hope that your new year has been wonderful in one way or another. And I will see you guys again next weekend. Okay? Bye-bye. Mwah.
Go.
What a world.